Welcome to this episode of Comparison University: Differences, Frequencies, and Similarities. Once you've uploaded data for your comparison, you're going to be brought to this project overview screen, which shows you your project name and description up at the top and shows you the comparisons or the questions that you have associated with this project nested below. Now we can see here right now there's only one comparison that we're looking at. If we wanted to add additional ones, we could simply click the Add Question button here to go through the process of creating an additional comparison and attaching unique data for that comparison. But in this instance, let's go in and look at the results of the analysis for our British versus American gamer comparison. To do that, hover over the comparison here, click Explore, and you'll be brought into the results of the analysis. Now, when Relative Insight performs its analysis, it's going to tell you the differences, the frequencies, and the similarities across the 5 categories of linguistic feature that Relative Insight analyzes, those being topics, grammar, phrases, words, and emotions. Now, differences tell you the elements or the linguistic features that are more prevalent in one data set compared to another. So for example, in this instance here, we can see that the topic of sales is occurring with a relative difference of 2.7 times, which indicates that when talking about video games, Brits are nearly 2.7 times more likely than Americans to invoke the topic of sales. Clicking over into frequencies, this is going to tell you the percentage of the total conversation dedicated to a particular linguistic feature. So in this instance, we can see that pronouns represent 8.5% of the British conversation and 8.2% of the American conversation. Finally, we have similarities, and similarities show you the linguistic features, in this case topics, that occur with similar frequency in the 2 data sets. So what we can see here, for example, is that the topic of sight occurs with a very similar frequency in both the American and British conversations around video games.